episode 10. We've actually made it. We made it to 10 episodes without getting cancelled. How good's that? If this was cable TV, this would have been cancelled a long time ago. I'm Untitled Chapter. Welcome to the show. As you can see, I have been to Belmont-Swansea today. It's 11:41 at night, so I can still say today, but it's about to be yesterday. Wearing the Bell-Swan shirt that I got given. Brad Paul giving me this, the super coach extraordinaire actually. At least that's what I like to call him. I'm sure he won't like being called that, but we'll get onto that later on. Well, actually, let's get into it first. I had someone say, do first grade first. So I'm going to do first grade first. Can I say first more times in the first minute? Let's move on. West Wallsend arriving at Belmont-Swansea, Blacksmith's Oval, with Jared Olivieri as captain. That's always going to be an interesting thing. He was good early on, target man in the air off a corner, but I shouldn't be reading this off paper. I can barely read my own writing. Olivieri good early on, just well, Westy good early on. Let's be honest with that. That's where it would end though. Bell-Swan scoring the first goal. If you just pardon me for a moment, I'm trying to. You'd think I'd have this ready, right? Well, no. That's not how things work around here, and I'm actually uploading the photos as I speak, so my internet is very slow. So we're just waiting. Bell-Swan scored the first goal through Josh Sutton, a good finish, making it 1-0. Popel, the goalkeeper for Bell-Swan, is making a good save to keep it 1-0. Sutton missing a second chance. Right on half-time, Mitch Maxton pacey down the wing and missing what could have been a goal to put Bell-Swans 2 ahead right on half-time. It wouldn't matter though. After the break, Jared Olivieri, that man again, giving away a handball inside the box. I believe he was carded for this. That'll come back. That yellow card will be mentioned later on because something else happens. Converted by Josh Hall, the top goal scorer in UFM First Division this season, 4 goals now. Jamie Hadlow made it 3-0. Ryan Cole got one back for Westy, but it was too little too late. Jared Olivieri, I forgot to mention this in my written report, Jared Olivieri receiving a second yellow and getting sent off. Might have been dissent. I actually haven't looked at the team sheet. I'll look at the team sheet right now and tell you exactly what he got sent off for, because hey, that's what we're here for. Once I find it. Second yellow, that's all it says, so yes, dissent. I was right. The Olivieri, like, he wears his heart on his sleeve, so it's not a surprise, but he's sort of got to keep that under control. Missing next week's game as a result, and that's not really what Westy wants, that's not really what Jared wants. But at the end of the day, tensions didn't really boil over. They threatened to at times, but Bell-Swans, the story of this game, Bell-Swans 3, West Wallsend 1. Of course I'm going to sit here in a Bell-Swan shirt and say it. I've also got a Westie shirt, so I might wear that. I've got it right there, it's sitting on a chair right near me. So this isn't being biased or anything. I play at Cooks Hill. I don't really care if Bell-Swans beat Westie or vice versa, but Bell-Swan should have won this game by 6 or 7 goals. And I'm being dead serious. Across the grades, I will go into it when I go into the other grades, I have not seen a club miss so many chances in one day of football as Bell-Swans did today. And across the grades, they scored 17, 16, 15 or 16 goals across 4 grades. What am I saying? No, they didn't. Let's do this simple. 3 plus 5 is 8, plus 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. They scored 12 goals across 11 goals across games today. It's very late. 11 goals in 4 games today. It could have been 20. They missed so many. It could have been maybe not 30, but seriously, Swans should have won first grade by 6 or 7. They just couldn't get the ball in the net as often as they should have. Under 23s, Swans 5, Wallsend 0. There's not too much to say about this. Swans dominated from the get-go. Will McMaster. If I had $1 for every time I mispronounced Miss McMaster today, running the PA system, simple name, but just, I don't know. I'm dumb sometimes. Will McMaster missing a chance early on, but Swans were rewarded. What am I doing? Cooper Smith own goal, giving Swans the lead. The Westie defender having an unfortunate moment. McMaster got his goal, making it 2-0, and then making it 3-0. His first goal to make it 2-0 was a delightful finish. Tom Langdon got on the score sheet, as did Daniel Horgan, rounding out a 5-0 bumping of West Wallsend. Zach Oliveri was injured in goals for Westie. Jake Shoesmith coming on, and he also got partly injured, and the first grade keeper was also had to play injured. If you put on that orange shirt at Westie, you're going to be in trouble. That's goalkeeper's getting injured all round. No injury for Josh Snedden in the under-17s. He got out of there before the carnage began. So 2 good Swans in the under-23s. 19s, Swans 2, West Wallsend 1. Jake Shoesmith in goals for Westie made a good save early on to deny Lachlan McMaster. Swans William Dundas, best player of the day I believe in this grade, hit the bar early on. Missed shots would become the story of the day, as previously mentioned. Josh Knight was back in action for West Wallsend, the ever-entertaining Josh Knight. The last time I got to see him play, he was on the field for probably 2 minutes and got sent off. Did a lot better today, kept his cool. His game lifted as a result, chasing the ball a lot. It was a different Josh Knight compared to the one I know from last season, and it was good to see. He wouldn't find the net though this week, denied by Josh Anstes, the defender blocking the ball on the goal line. Cameron Lodge threatened once or twice for Swans, but missed sitters, and a strong Jake Shoesmith in goals for Westie denied the host. The opening goal would come, William Dundas scoring that goal into the right corner of the net. Westie got a penalty, Connor Bryson taking out a player, the Swans goalkeeper, getting yellow carded, James Barnes scoring the goal. Matt Turner missed an absolute sitter. Wasn't the worst miss I saw all day. That will come later on when I talk about Broadmeadow Magic. But Brian Simba scored for Swans, putting them back in front, and that's how it would stay. This looked like a really good team for Swans. I'm just going to quickly grab the team sheet now and tell you some of these players, like Will Dundas on debut for Swans, showed why he was playing NPL level last year. I believe he was. Lachlan McMaster was good. Brian Simba was good. Odin Buckley. This team, Connor Bryson in goals, this team has the potential to really do some damage this season in the under-19s. I don't want to say top 4 just yet, but they'll be pushing for it. Let's be real. There's some gaps between teams, and Swans are up there at the moment in the under-19s. Westie will come good as well. Under-17s, Swans 1, defeated by West Wallsend 2. This game was, it feels like years ago now. It's been a very, very long day. Jared Hayter giving Westie the lead on the back of a penalty, coolly converting it to the left of Daniello Apollonia. Don't say that too fast. To be fair, this game was across the board. This game was evenly contested across the board. Jacob Windsor, this was a good one, making his club debut for Swans and his soccer debut. Apparently had never played a game before. Coming over from rugby league, he's only ever kicked the ball around the park. Scored an equaliser for Swans and threatened. He was very, very good today. probably the man of the match in under 17s for my money. Tom Mear would score for Westie, putting them back in front. Lachlan McMaster played well, but was denied by the crossbar. Windsor came close to scoring a second goal. Kai Drayton played well for West Wallsend. A lack of cards was a standout in the first half, but there was some in the second. Brock Taylor was getting physical, although at times it was a little bit comical, falling over some Bell-Swans players, and that's not probably what you want to do, but hey, whatever. Joel Nicholson was good, and Bell-Swans keeper Daniel Apollonia. I just can't do names, can I? He was good in goals today. He knows who he is. Both keepers were good. Josh Snedden playing well, not getting injured. He got out of there. All the other goalkeepers were injured. He wasn't. Callum Melville was quality all game in Westie's defence, and they temporarily go top of the table. A solid win for the Bluebells in the under-17s. And just a quick mention, Bell-Swans Players Player Award. This would be good if a lot of teams could send me their man of the match votes. Under-17s, Jared Thompson. 19s, Joel Nicholson. 23s, Tom Langdon. And first grade, Josh Sutton were the Bell-Swans man of the match awards. Player. Over at Edgeworth, let's just move straight on from that. Over at Edgeworth, the FFA Cup, Hamilton Olympic 3 defeated Valentine 1. I wasn't there for that game. Other games that I wasn't at, Beresfield defeated by Lambton Jaffers 10-1. Not a surprising result there, weakened Beresfield team. No excuses, Jaffers a very good squad, and they will push very hard to get into the FFA Cup round of 32. They'll definitely be pushing on the final weekend, I believe. There was other games played at Maitland. Maitland were knocked out by Adamstown 2-1. I call that a bit of an upset. Adamstown might disagree. Maitland might disagree, I don't know. But in my mind, Adamstown weren't convincing in their last FFA Cup display. Graham Law will be very happy that his side's gone through. I'm not sure how they played. He might not be happy. He's a very demanding coach. Adamstown are a very historic club. It would be great to see them get to the round of 32. There was another game at Maitland, and it is slipping my mind, and I apologise. It's Charlestown 2 defeating Western 1, which in my mind is a big win for Charlestown. They move on to the next round. Anyway, Dudley versus Singleton. This was a game I watched the second half, most bit of the first half. Dudley Redhead United, what a team this team is. Like, seriously, they were down 1-0, and then right towards the end, after some handiwork from the number 6 and number 12, apologised for not getting names. I went to see the referees. They were taking an eternity. I left the ground because it was approaching 9:30, so apologies for that. They know who they are, the Dudley team. The number 6 scored their equaliser. They went crazy, and it was no less than they deserved, and it was good to see. And I looked over and I saw some of the Singleton people clapping as well, because I think they appreciated that. It was just a really good cup football moment to see Dudley equalise against a higher ranked team. And hell, I sort of thought maybe again, the Pembley shootout, they did it against Cooks Hill, could they do it again? Unfortunately, no, they couldn't. And I sat there and I believed in Singleton's goalkeeper, Stewie Plant. I thought, I haven't seen him in a penalty shootout, but I thought he'd have potential, and well did he. Making a quality save, and when the heat was on, the goalkeeper himself stepped up and sent Singleton into round 4 of the FFA Cup. I spoke to Stewie after the game. He was pretty delighted with the whole occasion of it, and it was a really good finish from the goalkeeper. And Singleton, you could say they didn't deserve to go through. Dudley really played a good game, and look, that's Singleton done anyway. Let's just move on to Dudley. My advice to them is to just keep doing what you're doing, because it's brilliant football. And the shock against Cooks Hill, if you guys came out and played like that in the new FM League first grade, you wouldn't do too badly, eh? Like, seriously, this team played really well in the 2 games I've seen them, especially today. They're going to be good in Zone Premier League, up there with Beresfield. It's going to be a strong competition, ZPL. There's going to be some good teams there. Dudley definitely not their day though. Singleton's Dylan Schrouder, probably the man of the match for them in defence. The American getting the job done. These imports, Schrouder, Plant, Alex Clarkson, it's very smart work from Singleton bringing these guys in. So we move on to the main game, Edgeworth versus Broadmeadow Magic. I was pumped for this game. This was a huge game to play at this early stage of the competition in the FFA Cup. A hard-fought match between the two rivals. Magic were outplayed in the first half. Edgeworth took the lead through Daniel McBreen, the former A-League man, of course. Ryan Hartwell was strong in goal for Magic all game. He was probably the main reason they got to a penalty shootout. Let's talk about that now. Hartwell himself pushed up on a corner in stoppage time. The goalkeeper came all the way up for the corner and he attempted a freaking bicycle kick. Pardon the language. Goalkeepers attempting bicycle kicks. I've seen it all now. I've seen it all. Hartwell, like, that just would have been crazy, but he couldn't get the goal. But someone who does score goals and has scored a lot of goals in the past, Peter Haynes, Edgeworth giving away a free kick right on the edge of the box, and Haynes, he stepped up and he delivered, curling it into the net. Magic fans went crazy. Really good to see. I just like penalty shootouts, I really do. I like the cup football tension, and there was a lot of tension. There was a bit of a argy-bargy sort of push around between 2 of the players from opposition teams. Penalty shootout. Peter Haynes' beautiful finish was forgotten instantly. He stepped up to take the first penalty for Broadmeadow. Edgeworth have already made it 1-0. Haynes, he steps up, and the ball, I believe, is still travelling along John Renshaw Drive towards Beresfield. This was one of the worst, if not the worst, penalty attempts I've ever seen. And I'm sorry. I like Hainsey, he's a great guy. My first ever interview was with Hainsey, but seriously, this was a horrible miss. I don't know if the Edgeworth fans put him off or whatnot, but from there, Edgeworth never looked back. They saved the next one, and they went through. They deserved to go through, and they did go through. And it was brilliant to see all the Eagles fans and followers storm the field at full time and celebrate with their team, and a very loud rendition of Edgeworth Eagles Are Forever blasting out from the change rooms. It's really good for Edgeworth to go through, but Magic, I did catch up with one of their players after the game. They were severely disappointed, and as you would be, because this team have made the round 32 2 years in a row now, and they're not going to be there this year. And there can be arguments for why these teams were playing each other so early. Obviously last year these were our 2 best representatives, and with due respect to most teams, Edgeworth and Magic probably the 2 strongest clubs in the region at the moment. So Magic are not going to be there. It's as simple as that. They lost, Edgeworth move on, and Edgeworth, after last year with Melbourne City, these guys will want another taste, and who knows what could happen now with Edgeworth. They could beat Melbourne City this time. They know how they were that close last year. If they draw a team like Tuggeranong or something like that from ACT or the Northern Territory, Darwin, they should beat them. I don't know how Edgeworth would go against Sydney Olympic, or let's not get into that anyway. Edgeworth aren't into the round of 32 just yet. They took a massive step today, and they knocked out arguably the biggest threat to their spot in the round of 32 in Broadmeadow Magic. Alright, it's now 12:01. I'm going to be leaving this house to go to Toronto at about 10 to 8, so I probably get 7 hours sleep at best. Be back tomorrow night. This is Saturday night when this is being recorded. It's now Sunday morning. Confusing, isn't it? I'll be back tomorrow with the reviews. There are 4 new FM games tomorrow, so we're going to be going through 16 games, including the 4 from Toronto. It's going to be a long day. Hopefully I can get the team sheets. I'm actually playing tomorrow night out at Finnan Oval. Blackwell's Park, I believe, is the suburb, Toronto. And I'm thinking of wearing these. These are Singleton Strikers socks. Look at those. They're my favourite socks in the New FM League. Sorry, Wallsend. I'm a Manly fan in the footy, so maroon and white. Appreciate all the free gear today. Let's show some of it off. Singleton Strikers training shirt. The nice writing on the back. Belmont-Swansea giving me this polo from a few years ago. Belmont-Swansea's getting brand new gear next week. Yellow shirts. Belmont-Swansea United. And probably my favourite, which is why it's hanging up back there, is the Singleton polo shirt. That's classy. Maroon and white, you can't go wrong there. Belmont shirt, the socks. I've got a lot of gear from a lot of clubs and very thankful for that. We'll move on and I will see you in about a second for tomorrow's reviews. Thank you. Alright, welcome back to part 2 of this week's Newysports TV episode. Apologies for this. This episode will not be going up on Monday. It is Monday 5 o'clock PM as I'm recording this, so very unlikely that it'll be up tonight. It does take 6 hours to upload, so I'll do that overnight. It will be up tomorrow morning, Tuesday. I myself have been working all day on the article from yesterday. I sort of gave myself the night off last night. I do have the Singleton training shirt on. It is blowing around because of this fan, but it's about easily 30 to 35 degrees in this room at the moment, so the fan has to stay and the shirt will blow in the wind. Not much I can do about that. Toronto cap, there you go, look at that. The Stags, it's back to front, but Toronto Wallsend FC. I don't really know why that's back to front. I should, it's like a mirror image. Anyway, let's move on. Yesterday, 16 games played in the New FM First Division across 4 different grounds. I myself was at Toronto for Toronto Wallsend versus Cooks Hill United, running the PA system there, and that was a busy day, I can tell you that, on the PA system. We'll start the first grade and we'll go through all the first grade games and then we'll move through the other grades. Toronto Wallsend 2 defeated by Cooks Hill United 7. This scoreline, I'll be talking about it later on because it happens again, but this scoreline 7-2, it's popped up a few times already this year. An end-to-end opening, both teams making forward movements fairly quickly. Cooks Hill opened the scoring through Jackson Pett. I'll be saying that name a few times in this review. He missed last week, but man of the match performance yesterday. Toronto missed a few chances, but Luke Maloney scored after a scramble in the penalty box. The lead lasted till right on half-time when cruelly the 1-1 scoreline was thrown out the window. Thomas Sparray, not Sparray, I've got to get that right. Thomas Sparray scoring a goal right on half-time to make it 2-1 for Cooks Hill. And after the break, straight away penalty, Jack Wilson converting it. It was saved by Daniel March, but Jack Wilson, the captain of Cooks Hill, scoring off the rebound. I'm getting really distracted. I'm looking at this screen, there's a square moving every time I move my head. It's studio, right? I'm not used to this whole video thing yet. Aiden Palozzi was on debut for Cooks Hill, the big name signing. He made it 4-1 despite the referees giving the credit to Matty Williams. Williams involved in the build-up, as was Jackson Pett, as was Zach Douglas, who was also a newcomer to Cooks Hill yesterday, and he was up there as well with Palazzi. This team, they were really good yesterday, and I think round 1 at Cooks Hill, I think they're calling it Kahiba Gate. That 7-2 loss in round 1, it seems like an eternity ago now. I can say that now, but we'll see how they go next week against Wallsend at the Gardens, a very tough test. We move on to more goals, not to another game, to more goals. Tyler Ossington sent off for Toronto, Jackson Pett scoring a penalty, 5-1. Liam Watson scored for Toronto. This was against the run of play, sort of Kaya Roth caught in the proverbial no man's land, about 20 to 30 metres away from the goal. I'm not sure what happened there. Liam Watson scoring a decent chipped goal over the keeper. It was Cooks Hill's day though, Jackson Pett scoring a hat-trick to make it 6-1, 6-2, and Emerson Augie sealing a big win, 7-2 to Cooks Hill United, in a very loud rendition of Fire in the Hole at Lyle Peacock Field. Around the grounds in first grade, Lake Macquarie City 2 defeated Wallsend FC 1 in a real finals-like, defensively contested game. Goal scorers were as followed. Chris Gazzard scored an own goal, 1-0 to Lakes. David Hodgson was back for Wallsend and scored from the spot to make it 1-1, but Tom Walker had the last goal of the game to win it for Lakes. It's very rare that you will see Lakes score a winner and Walker not be the last name. It's very rare that you will see Sam Walker not be the goal scorer, so Tom Walker will be happy with that, winning the game for his side. A return to form for the Roosters and a big test for Wallsend next week against Cooks Hill. That's already, but it's looking like game of the round already next week at the Gardens. It's going to be good. Cessnock City 2 defeated by Kahiba FC. Guess the score, 7. There it is, 7-2 again. Kahiba FC love this scoreline, don't they? 14 goals in 2 games. Some strange noises in the background. I don't know what's going on outside, but Jeremy Morton scored for the Hornets, as did Liam Stevenson with a superb individual goal, I've been told. But Kahiba, despite being 1-1 at just before half-time or at half-time, I haven't seen a team sheet, I'm not sure, it was 1-1 at one stage of the game. Kahiba were just too good. Jared Penfold scoring a hat-trick, Jaden Demir getting 2, Daniel Bartlett getting 1, and Matty Hughes getting on the score sheet, the under-19 striker. Good to see Hughesy get his first grade goal. Penfold back in the team. He was out last week, and he's come back and scored 3 goals and added something to this team. Yes, they're missing, the name slips my mind at the moment, but he got injured last week at Cooks Hill. That's not good how I forget names like that, but I'm definitely going to look it up, because I can't, it's not in me to just skip past and just leave a name and not know. I should know it, but I don't. But I will. It was Colvin Williams who got injured last week at Cooks Hill. The only downside for Kahiba is Sean Clerk will be suspended, getting red carded again. Got red carded in the pre-season. Kahiba definitely, they won't like that. Clerky's definitely got to not get red carded. I don't know what the situation was, it might not have been deserved, but not good for Kahiba there. I left that out of my review accidentally, so there it is, down to 10 men, still win 7-2. South Cardiff 1 defeated Fortin 0. David Hesimovic scoring the goal, the only goal of the game. The Gunners move up the table, the Fortin Redbacks have to rethink things before round 3. It's their first game of the new season, but tough test in South Cardiff down at Ulinga Oval, and the Gunners got the job done, and Thornton will be in action Wednesday night. Newysports will be there for Thornton versus West Wallsend in the FFA Cup at West Wallsend. 7 o'clock kickoff, I believe, maybe 6:30, one of the two, I think it's 7. We move on to under 23s, where Cooks Hill 7 defeated Toronto Awaba 0. There's not too much to say about this. It was domination from the get-go. The 4th minute, Giles Boyd scoring the opening goal, Mr. Control scoring the opening goal there, the 19s coach. His team won in the 19s, and then he scores first goal in 23. It's a good day for Giles. Good to see him get on the score sheet with a smashing header. First goal of the season for him. Peyton Tagarulius' corners were just very hard to deal with. That's what ended up getting the first goal, whipped in by Tagarulius. Sam Hawke scored the second goal. James Roman scored the third. Taylor Amos got sent off for Toronto. Cooks Hill scored 4 more goals. A lot of goals. Hawke got the 4th. Steve Coolis scored. Sam Pateman scored. And James Roman scored again. 7-0. Done. I'll say Toronto first. They need to improve quickly. That's 11 goals conceded in 2 games. And I know it's round 2, but there's teams, there are teams across the grades that, Toronto 19s, for example, they won last week, they lost this week. Cessnock in the 19s, they've lost 2 games, but they're not in a hole. Toronto Awaba 23s are in a hole. They've conceded 11 goals in 2 games. They have to come out to Cessnock next week against a very good 23s Hornets side, and they have to try and avoid a loss, because, trust me, it's going to go down quickly. I think the team, they know where I'm coming from, the team. I'm not being harsh here, I'm being realistic. You can't concede 7 goals week in, week out. This can't go. This can't happen again. Hopefully it won't. It wasn't Toronto's day in the 23s, and it was Cooks Hill's day, and for Cooks Hill, they are on top of the league in the under 23s. And despite wearing a Singleton shirt and a Toronto cap, I play at Cooks Hill. I know Cooks Hill inside out, and I did not think I'd be sitting here saying that the 23s are top of the league. Thinking ahead 4 or 5 months ago, I wouldn't think that. This team is stacked. They've got so many talented players who can't play first grade because there's just too much talent in first grade. Be right back, getting a phone call. Alright, we're back. Pardon the phone call there. It's the first time in a while it wasn't a new FM president or coach or anything. It was all-age coach ringing me about a game, but I completely forget where I was at. I know I was talking about the Cooks Hill 23s. They're top of the league, and this team look really good. Big improvement on last year, and there's a big test next week against Wallsend, who we will move on to Wallsend. Lake Macquarie City 1 defeating Wallsend 0, despite my report saying Lakes 2, Wallsend 1. That's copy and paste from first grade. Dean Holt scoring the only goal of the game. They couldn't score last week, they did this week, Lakes, and they got the job done over a quality Wallsend team, who are also stacked. So next week, Wallsend versus Cooks Hill, first grade 23s, 2 games to watch, definitely. Cessnock City 2 defeating Cahibah 1. Cessnock 23s leading the way at Turner Park again. After a scoreless draw last week, they got goals. Jai Thompson scoring 2. Sam Garrity did not score, despite the report saying that. I have to change that. Jez Turner getting the goal for Cahibah. Not enough, and Cahibah will not like being down the bottom in the 23s. I don't think it'll last. I think they're a better team than that, and they've got some serious guys in that team who are definitely not going to be happy with just being also-rans at the end of the season. They want to push for finals and they need to step up soon. South Cardiff 3 defeated by Fortin Redbacks 4. Very topsy-turvy game. Jared Abbott scoring, Jacob Robertson and Mitchell Kikzinski. I'm going to have trouble with that name, I swear. Fortin winning in the 23s, doing what they do best, winning in the 23s, they did last year. Trent Lambourne getting 2 goals and Jacob Fifield scoring for South Cardiff. They weren't too far away, the Gunners could have gone either way, but it didn't. Fortin won. Over to the under-19s, where Toronto Awaba, there's no score here, but Toronto Awaba 1 were defeated by Cooks Hill United 3. I didn't get the back of the team sheet here. I took photos of all 4 team sheets at the end of the day at Toronto, and for some reason I took photos of the 17s team sheet twice. Can't tell a 7 and a 9. They sort of look the same, don't they? I don't know. Cooks Hill started the better of the 2 sides. They took a lead through Asher Beasley, the off-season recruit, and he was joined on the score sheet by another off-season recruit, Ty Cousins. 2-0 for Cooks Hill at half-time. Toronto came out, they made it 2-1 at the start of the second half. Paul Turner scoring, Cooks Hill pushing Zeds, they were asleep at the back. Ty Cousins ended up scoring the 3rd goal for Cooks Hill and they won 3-1. A nice touch for Toronto to have a minute's silence for Paul Turner's father, who passed away this time last year. It was really good to see him get on the score sheet. He's a good lad, Paul. Saw him yesterday going around, setting up the ground, still there at the end of the day. Good guy, and there's a lot of real club people at Toronto. they you know, win, lose or draw, and trust me, they've had some tough days there, and they're going to have tough days there every now and then. You know, it's not it's not the strongest club in the league, and they've had problems financially, and it's good to see the people that are there care for the club as much as they do. And yeah, it was good to see Paul get on the team the score sheet. If anyone was going to do it for 19s yesterday, it was him, and he was captain. And it was a really nice touch from the Toronto 19s, Lindsay Jamison, the coach. Good goal, but they got beat. And Giles Boyd's team, the Cooks Hill 19s, back in winning form. Very good team, Cooks Hill's 19s, and I think they'll be pushing for finals. It's a bit early to say that. Lake Macquarie's, here we go, this is just crazy. Lake Macquarie City 6 defeating Wallsend 3. This is following a 5-3 victory over Belmont-Swansea last week. My tip to the Lakes 19s is you can score 6 goals, but you know, it's not going to happen every week, and you can't concede 3 goals every week. Eventually you will get drawn, you will lose. Defence has got to be a little bit stronger for Lakes 19s. That's what I feel. They might have, I don't know what the situation was, I wasn't there for the game, but conceding 6 goals in 2 weeks, and yet somehow they're up there near top of the league. It's crazy, isn't it? Josh Richardson opened the scoring. Jack Russo doubled the lead. The 2-0 half-time lead was cut in half. Dan Strazzeri scoring for Wallsend. Taylor Hepburn tying things up, but Lakes got back in front. Kevin Van Gool was not the goal scorer. Darko Nikic scoring the goal. The referee's got that wrong. I've got to correct that on here. Taylor Hepburn scored a 2nd goal for Wallsend, 3-3. But then goals to Josh Richardson again. Jack Russo got 2. So Russo with a hat-trick, Richardson with 2, Nikic with 1. This Lakes team, there's goal scorers across the park in this team. It's a very good squad. Majority of the 17s grand final winning team last year. and they'll go very well this year. They're going to be very hard to beat. Wallsend, they'll want to bounce back against Cooks Hill next week. Very big game, that one. I think all 4 games at Wallsend next week against Cooks Hill. 17s maybe might be outshined by another game somewhere else, but first 23s, 19s at Wallsend next week. Some crackers of games. Cessnock City 1 defeated by Cahibah FC 3. You look at that, you think, oh yeah, Cahibah win. You know, they probably could have scored 7. You know, this Cahibah team's good. Let me tell you right now, Cessnock City were leading. They were leading 1-0. I got a message. It said Cessnock 1, Cahibah 0 in the 19s. I was stunned. Carl Gillis giving the Hornets the lead over the Premiership favourites. Cahibah came out in the second half. They scored 3 goals. Isaac Zek from the spot, Harry Flick and Bailey Chaplin. A decent win for Cahibah, but the standout here is Cessnock City. They were beaten 7-0 by Singleton last week, and they've come out this week and they've taken it to the Premiership favourites in this grade. And I heard from Rick Ford, the coach there. He said he didn't really expect the team to win, and that wasn't really the aim. The aim was improvement, and I completely agreed with him that the improvement was there. And they've got Toronto next week, and they'll like the chances of 3 points, that's for sure. Finally, South Cardiff 0, drawing Fortin 0. It wasn't a boring 0-0 draw, it was actually a pretty entertaining one, I've been told. Both goalkeepers, Blake McDonald for Fortnum, Darren Gledhill for Southie, required to make saves. Gledhill saved a penalty. Not a result either side wanted, but it's early days and Fortin's first game of the year. A lot of their 17s from last year have moved up. I don't have the team sheet with me at the moment, or do I? I think I do. Thank you to South Cardiff for sending team sheets. Always a good help. Lakes also did, and Cessnock sent me the goal scorers. It's a lot easier to just send team sheets rather than trying to write everything down like South Cardiff did, but I'm just trying to sort of kill time here. I'm just going through and trying to find a team sheet for 19s and tell you that some of the guys from Fortin's 17s last year, Connor Galbraith one of them, Travis Howard another, stepping up into the 19s. It was always going to be a tough transition, and they weren't beaten, so I guess that's... I'm getting ultra confused here. I'm looking at the 17s score and I'm reviewing the 19s game. Fortin will come good. They'll be a decent team in the 19s, I think. Rightio, 17s, Cooks Hill, Toronto I should say. Toronto 3 defeating Cooks Hill United 1. Cook has got the lead through Eli Collins, the defender turned attacker this year, doing very well, scoring another goal. Toby Mellon was strong in defence for Cooks Hill, but him and his teammates, they couldn't do anything about Caleb Trimboli's smashing header to make it 1-1. Trimboli had just come on to replace Mitchell Scott, who lowered his injured his lower back. I'll get it right soon, won't I? He didn't return to the game, so Toronto were down to 2 or 3 subs, I'm not sure. They were missing a substitute anyway. They came out in the second half, better team. It looked like Luke Gibbons had scored, Gibbo, but he didn't. It was an own goal off of Jackson Johnson, which I'm not sure. It might actually be Jack Johnson. I don't know. I just saw J Johnson written in the score sheet, so I just guessed it. I think I'm right. Who knows? Stags sealed the deal. Caleb Trimboli scoring a second goal. 3-1 Toronto defeating Cooks Hill. He wasn't there yesterday, Michael Best, the Cooks Hill coach, but his squad will need to step up because they're bottom. And last year they were up there as one of the top teams, so they definitely don't want to lose to Wallsend next week. It's going to be a hard-fought game. Wallsend's a very they're a difficult squad in the 17. Some week, last week they won. This week, if they get confident, Wallsend in the 17s. I shouldn't be talking about this now because I'm about to review the game. Let's review the game. Lakes 5 defeating Wallsend 1. Harrison Taylor scoring in the first half, 1-0 at the break, and then a penalty was converted by Caleb Morley-Davies, 2-0 for the Roosters, and then Wallsend just sort of dropped off, fell apart at the back, whatever. Curtis McRitchie getting 2, Harrison Taylor getting another. Wallsend scored, Jacob Ray scoring that goal. Lake 17s, I'll admit it, I didn't know what to expect this year, but this squad played together last year in inter-district level, and they are going to be very difficult to beat. I think they're going to be up there as one of the premiership contenders. Wallsend, the 17s, if they get confidence in their squad, they will come good. The football is in that team to be good. The pace is in the forwards. Defence has got to be shored up a little bit. It will be a very testing game next week against Cooks Hill. Both teams will want to win. Cessnock City 1, defeated by Cahaiba FC 7. And Cessnock 17s, they really did well against Singleton last week. I was only there for the last half hour or so, but a 0-0 draw against Singleton. Singleton's 17s are a decent squad. There's no match here for Cahaiba. Aaron Comerford scored for Cessnock, but consolation in the end. Kyle Williams getting 2, Henry Gibson, Sebastian Kresher, something like that. Tristan Newbold, Ryan Stookberry with a penalty, and Pat Waller. Cahaiba 17s, there was some questions being asked in the pre-season. Is this team going to be... They weren't experienced. They don't have any players that played New FM last year. They've just won 7-1 and they're flying at the moment. After that first up win against Cooks Hill, they are top of the league and they've conceded 1 goal, so doing well in the 17s, Cahaiba. Last but not least, South Carter 4 defeating Fortin Redbacks 1. Goals to Daniel Perks, Lucas Emmett Morley, Morlaix. I don't know, it might be one of those French pronunciations again. Thomas Sparre being one of them. I can't get over that. Carl Bauer scoring and an own goal to Fortin's Gabriel Halpin, giving the Gunners a solid victory. Fortin scored through Josh Davis, which I think there's a Josh Davis at Toronto and at Fortin, so that's a bit confusing. But yeah, the Gunners winning this game in the 17s over Fortin, but I heard from someone inside the Fortin camp who said that this team didn't look as bad as they did last year. There's improvement in the squad and they hit the post once or twice, so definitely no concern just yet. I was going to say it's round 1, it's their first game of the year. There's no need to be really worried about what's going to happen, but they'll definitely want to come out and try and get a win in the next few weeks, that's for sure. FFA Cup fixtures on Tuesday, tonight, when you're watching this, it'll be tonight. Bellswans versus Jesmond FC out at Blacksmith's Oval, and Wednesday night is West Wallsend versus Fortin. I will be there on Wednesday night. I have a training session to run with my all-age team on Tuesday, so I can't really make that game, but good luck to all 4 teams. Jesmond, of course, being the only zone league team left. Can they upset the Bellswans? One of the form teams in New FM at the moment. That's pretty much it. I'm looking at all the new gear I scored over the weekend. It's very nice, got the Bellswan shirt that I wore yesterday. Somehow this is extra large. It must be a few seasons old, gone through the wash a few times. It's not extra large anymore. Also got the Singleton Strikers polo. This right here is the best polo in the league. by far. So the collection's growing, and the Toronto cap is going to be hung up on the wall. It's a nice cap, actually. You know, not every team does hats. Definitely need to get something off Fortin, and I'm organising that. And then I think I've got every team. Maybe need something from South Cardiff. Who knows? The collection continues, and I'm very thankful. Singleton donating all that stuff. Belmont-Swansea giving me the jersey and an old polo shirt as well. Belmont-Swansea United. There you go. Of course, we've got the Cessnock scarf from last week's video. And in the background, you know, there's a Lakes jersey up there on the wall. There's a Wallsend jersey here. In my room, there's Valentine shirt, West Wallsend shirt, Magic stuff. It's great. It's great that all the teams appreciate what I do, and I appreciate the sentiment. Sentiment. I don't know if that's the right word. I appreciate the generosity. There's a word that works. That's pretty much it for Newysports TV this week. I'm not sure if I've forgotten anything. If I have, then that's not good, but there's not much I can do. If I forgot it, it's not going to be in the video because the video is done. Be back next Monday at well, any time of the day it's uploaded, but we'll be back next Monday. The game next Sunday, Wallsend versus Cooks Hill. Next Saturday is only one game, Belmont-Swansea versus Fortin. I may not be able to make that game because I do have a match in town at National Park at 1:30, so it'd be a little bit out of the way to go. I could make the 17s, go all the way out to Blacksmiths, watch the 17s, and then have to come back to Cooks Hill. That's a little bit far to transit, you know. It'd be good to watch Fortin play in all 4 grades. It's something that's I haven't done before that I know of. I don't think I have. I missed the 1st grade game last year, so I've never seen Fortin play 4 games in a row. That's a bit sad, isn't it? Not sad, but you'd think I'd do better than that. But I'll be up at Fortin Park in a few weeks' time. I'm looking at this screen. I'm wondering why my eyes aren't centered. The thing's there, yeah, right there. I'll be up at Fortin Park in 2 or 3 weeks. I forget when it is, against Wallsend. The schedule's available somewhere on Facebook. Good luck to all next week. Good luck to the teams in the FFA Cup this week. And that's pretty much it for Newysports episode 10. I will see you this time next week.